Greetings everyone, it's an absolutely gorgeous day out today, sunny and +8. Super for this time of year, for what it could be. I thought I would share Sarah's commute from our place to Wally World, or as some people call it, Walmart, where she works. Her shifts start as early as 6 a.m. right through to the start time at noon, which means the end of her day is at 8:30 at night. I like the drive in the morning as it gives you time to wind up to be ready for work, and time on the way home to wind down from your day's events, plus time to plan out what's for dinner that evening. It's great traveling in the spring and summer as it is light both morning and evening, and as fall approaches and winter sets in, it will be dark both ways to travel, and this has perils as many animals are nocturnal as to avoid predators. As a result, you drive with both eyes looking for wildlife and one foot near the brake at all times. You really can't relax because there's no warning, only an animal bounding out of the ditch and in your path. As we go along, you can see all the fields in the farmland. The hay grown there is harvested in the summer for feed for domestic animals in the winter. The natural grass in the bush or forest gets covered with snow as the season progresses. The deer and elk have a hard time foraging for food, so they come out on the farmland to graze, and sometimes intermingling with the domestic herds to get food. They get to know where the good food is and travel between them on a regular routine. The moose, on the other hand, have a diet of eating tips and branches of young trees. Most of their activity starts at sundown and ends at daybreak. The bushy areas and thick-treed forested lands are ideal habitat for them. But they are happy wanderers also, which creates a nuisance on our roadways. Taking this into consideration, one can't relax completely, and no matter what type of terrain you're passing through, you have to be aware. Traffic on our highways have slowed significantly since the big downturn in the gas and oil industry in 2015. We currently have not recovered from that, but are hopeful that the demand for our product will return. I personally miss the so-called good times, lots of hustle and bustle, and something always happening. I was very fortunate in my careers not to have left Alberta for employment. A lot of Canada's provinces weren't so lucky. People from all over Canada and the world call Alberta home now because work has brought them here. Here's a little fact. 1 in 10 Albertans is Filipino, and we are glad to have them. Their positive attitude and hard work ethic resonates with Alberta's values. We are coming up on a bridge that crosses the North Saskatchewan River. It starts in the Rocky Mountains formed by the melting of the Columbia ice fields. It gathers momentum as drainage from other creeks, streams, and rivers flows into it. So it travels through Alberta, Saskatchewan, and into Lake Winnipeg in Manitoba. Then pours into Hudson's Bay on its way to the ocean. Some people spend summer hours panning for small amounts of gold that can be found along its shores. It doesn't amount to much, but it's a hobby for some. We're coming up on the southern entrance to the town of Drayton Valley. Then the industrial park starts on the outskirts of town. Numerous companies providing various services are allowed to conduct business in them and keep them separate from the downtown to accommodate the heavy truck traffic. Construction slows down in the winter months, labor costs increase as workers take time for breaks to warm up, which causes productivity to decline. Excavations have to be preheated to get the frost out of the ground, so not so hard on the equipment digging in the frozen material. Projects requiring concrete have to be covered with an insulated tarp, and portable heaters pump heat under them to help the curing process. That is a huge cost incurred by the company, which in turn is passed on to the consumer. A company or individual has to weigh out the benefit of building in winter with the additional cost. Is it worth it? What we're on now is kind of a bypass road, goes from north to south. You can get around the town if you have to, if you have no business in the downtown core. It's very handy for truckers and people that like say really don't have business in town. Speeds things up, you can get around. On this ring road, there's fuel stations that are called card locks. for the big semis. They can pull in, fuel up, and they get a monthly bill. And like I say, there are a couple of gas stations just for domestic vehicles. Makes it nice, makes it handy, especially when you're traveling. There are also fast food places located on the ring road. You can pull over, either dine in or in your vehicle. It's also very handy for the weary traveler. There are around 8,000 people that populate the town and surrounding hamlets, villages, and farms that all come for personal needs and services to the town. Leduc is the next biggest center, 104 kilometers away. The stores share a spot in a shopping center that has a big parking lot to accommodate the busiest stores in town. One-stop shopping. As you can see, we're arriving safely. There are groceries, clothing, footwear, small appliances, pet supplies, electronics, paint and hardware, toys, sporting goods, hobbies and crafts, pharmacy, home and garden, and much more. No wonder it's so very popular. When we turn off here, Mark's Work Warehouse is coming up on the right, and that was my go-to place to purchase the stuff I needed when I was working. They had very good quality workwear. It lasted a long time. Like say, the knees didn't wear out, the pockets didn't wear out. As a construction worker, we were always hard on clothes. And as you can see, we've reached our final destination. This is where I go to dump Sarah off and also to pick her up at the end of the day. So I thank you very much for watching, and we will probably see you again. Okay, bye now.